Hey everyone. Oh, it just said trying to reconnect. Okay, I think I'm good. I think I'm on. So hey everyone, it's Eileen with Creative Eye Designs, and I had somebody ask me about how I make my little bat cookies. Aren't they so stinking cute? Guys, it's so simple and easy to do. Let me know if you're here. Hopefully I'm live. I don't see any comments yet, but it's not like I made a post saying, here I am, I'm coming on. All right, guys, so simple to do. I've had some little chocolates that I made for Valentine's. I never used them. So I'm just trying to use all these things that I have, you know? So I'm hoping that I'm live. It says I'm live, but I got a little nervous when it's telling me slow connection. So if you're on, say hi. I guess I'm just going to keep going. All right. So what I did was I made these little, and I got this mold at Hobby Lobby a long time ago. It's a little candy mold. They reminded me of, they really look like Rolos, but I was envisioning like little peanut butter cups, you know, and I made them with clay. Okay, so you could use any clay you want. Hey Margie, I was not sure if I was live because I keep getting a message that I have a slow connection. Hey Stephanie, how are you? So guys, I'm making these little bat cookies today. Super easy to do, but somebody asked me, you know, hey Ness, somebody asked me to show them how I made them. So I thought, you know, I'll come on. Great to see you. Thanks for hopping on, guys. Hi Barb. So anyway, so I got this little mold, you know, I have a bunch of candies here that I made. I used clay. I mean, you could use whatever you want. Oh, I just got a cha-ching. Oh, everyone's getting that? Everyone's getting that, really. Luz, Ethel's here. Ethel's like, what? Lucy, you're live? I didn't tell her I was coming live. So I chose to use Modelite, because you could use Model Magic, you could use your bows, but you know how bows can puff up on us. So I went with the Modelite because you can't really see me, but LOL. I'm talking LOL. I'm talking in letters. But I'm so glad you hopped on, Ness. Thanks. Hey, Peggy. You just happened to catch me. So I'm using Modelite because I just find it dries a lot quicker than the, I'm getting slow connection again, than the Modelite. So I used the Model Magic. So I used the Modelite. So anyway, you know, so simple, guys. Just stuff your clay in there. I'm not really gonna do them, but you know, you want to condition your clay a little bit. And thanks, Ness, for hopping on. And I just stuff them in there. Okay, stuff the clay in there, and I filled up my whole tray and I popped it in the freezer. And it doesn't really take too long in the freezer. It's not like you have to leave it overnight. In fact, I could pop them out just like that. But if you want to really get them, you know, whatever, firm. So, and I let those dry for at least a day. I did keep turning them, flipping them over. I kept flipping them over, you know, to dry all sides, okay? And then I painted them in a burnt umber. You could do milk chocolate, dark chocolate, whatever you guys want to do. Hi, Cindy. Thank you for hopping on. Aw, thanks. Yeah, I miss coming live, you know, but sometimes I don't know. It's so hard for me now to come live. But, you know, there's a few tricks up my sleeve, right? So, like, I taught you guys how to, what did I do? Oh, the witch's brooms. I made the witch's brooms with you guys last time I went live, and I wasn't sure what in the heck I was going to do with them, but you probably seen I made these little pies, and we have a witch's broom in there, and we got the little bat cookie. Guys, you see this little hat and this little cauldron? You know how sometimes when you order from, you know, overseas, Temu, AliExpress, and they come in much smaller than you were thinking they were going to be? Hi, Shay. Thanks for hopping on. And so, yeah, I was like, what in the heck am I going to do with these things? So anyway, I'm always going to find a use for whatever I end up getting, even if it's too small. So I took a little silicone and threw some beads and sprinkles in there that had little eyeballs I had gotten from Janita, Designs by Janita. She had sent me a whole thing of sprinkles last year, and I haven't used them. So anyway, that's what I ended up doing with the witch's brooms. And so today I'm going to show you how we do the cookies. So simple to do. I happen to have the, you know, we're not supposed to say it right, but it's an Oreo cookie sandwich, right? Mold, and I have several of them. So, and I did the same thing with the clay, popped it in the freezer, and popped them out. But you know, if guys, you don't have to have a mold. You could just use a round circle cookie cutter. You know, think outside the box. It doesn't have to be, you don't even need a mold for these. You could just make a little, whatever, a ball, whatever. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have all the things, you know. You will need clay, you will need paint. So, there's that. But anyway, so I took my cookies, I didn't attach them, and I just cut them in half. You want to make sure that you're going to paint on the inside because you're going to see, you got to get Justin out of the pool. All right, Ethel. Thanks, Stephanie. You want to make sure you paint the inside or you're going to see the clay. So anyway, guys, I couldn't have made this any easier. I have, again, I have that chocolate fudge, that whipped glue that we get, and this I think was also by Janita, Designs by Janita, Yanira, however you say it. I say Janita. I think she goes by both, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, so I'm going to just squeeze some of that out. I had to work this and really soften it up because I've had it for a while and haven't used it. But it works out okay. So I should have a paper towel or something. Anyway, I'll bring it down a little bit. There's really not much to see, guys. This is so super easy. I took my my Rolo candy or whatever, and in fact, I even did it with the squares. You know, they have all different molds. Excuse me. The allergy season is nasty over here. Hi, Cynthia. Thanks for hopping on. So let me see if I can get some of this down a little more. A little spatula. Just want to work some of that down so I can work with it. All right. So, guys, I made this so easy. I think I have. All right. So I'm using the bottom, and I'm just putting some of this chocolate because, and you don't have to have this. You can use glue. I'm just using stuff that I have, and this will act as a glue. So you can use super glue, whatever you want. Super glue is what I would suggest because it would give you that instant, you know, tack. But I'm just going to press that down. I'm going to press the other one down. Whoop, I almost made his wing the wrong way. Okay, and there you have your cute little cookie bat, right? But he needs some eyes. So for that, I took some, I mean, I guess you could use Model Magic, whatever. I used the bows in the white, and I just made two little small round balls. Gosh, I still keep getting slow connection. Is there any issues, guys, on your end watching? And do I need to bring my camera down? Can you guys see what I'm doing? So I'm just, that's too big. I mean, you could make big googly eyes, but that's even too big. Let's take a little bit more off. So yeah, I'm just making two small little balls. And then I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to press it down. I'm good? Okay, thanks for letting me know. No issues, good. I'm just going to press it down. You want to make sure, well, this one got some chocolate on him, so let me redo, got some chocolate on his eyeball, so let me redo that one. Okay, and there you have your cute little cookie bat, right? But he needs some eyes. So for that, I just made two little balls. And then I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to press it down. You want to make sure, well, this one got some chocolate on him, so let me redo, got some chocolate on his eyeball, so let me redo that one. There's always stuff on our workbench. And I did the same thing. I'm using this as my glue. So, but again, you don't have to. You can use, crazy glue. But this stuff will set up pretty quickly, and it really does act like a glue. I'm not even being neat about it, guys. I'm just putting a little dab on there, and I'm not being neat about it at all. And I'm just gonna pick that up and put my eyeballs on there. And again, I have chocolate all over my fingers. So that's what I did. And then what I also did was, because I'm using the bows, I'm just gonna take them and I'm gonna kind of lightly press down his eyeballs, because that will help that from like puffing out. So I'm just sort of flattening my eyeballs. And then I grabbed the wrong pen, but I got these paint markers. I got these at Hobby Lobby for like $1.99. And I was like, why am I going to sit here and make two little black tiny balls? No, we're just going to paint them on. We're just going to paint it on. It can't get any easier, guys. It's so easy to do. You do have to shake it a little. And do it. Yeah, I used the thick end, believe it or not. So let me make sure. All right. And I just gave him two little pupils. So I'm gonna look at them, and I'm just going to touch it. Like, I'm not even pressing it down. I'm just touching it. And that's it, guys. There's your little Oreo cookie bat, I mean, I just think they're so stinking cute. It adds a little whimsical touch to all of your fake bakes. And like I said, I showed you what I did with mine. I put them in cupcakes. It's my little cotton candy with the little bat. I put them in my pies that I made. And also the little tombstones, I did also with the little chocolate in between. And I used my paint marker to write my little sayings. It's backwards, but it's R.I.P. and it's sweet ending. So, that's it, guys. So simple. So simple to do. I have some more tombstones I made this morning, because I'm planning on using these on a cupcake to sort of maybe go, well, it's a different color. I don't know why it's a different color, but it is. They came out gray instead of beige. Maybe I used a brown. I don't even know what I did for the first one. But anyway, these will work. So that's it. I'm just, and these I got clay cutters. Let's see, where are they? Right here. I got the clay cutters, again, from Hobby Lobby, and this was in the baked clay aisle, where you find your Sculpey and your Fimo and all that stuff. And it's just like this shape. I was like, oh my God, that's the perfect cookie cutter to use for a tombstone, right? So I got those, and then my brain just started going crazy. You know how it is, guys. You know how it is. So does anybody have any questions? Aren't they just so cute? I think they're so cute. Hi, Jamie. Jamie, I just did the tutorial for the bat cookies that you were asking me about, so no worries. You can always watch the replay. It's no big deal. So I'm glad that you saw that I'm on those. That way you'll see it. But yeah, we just did the bat cookies. Super easy to do. In fact, we could do another one. Well, since you're here, Jamie, let's do another one. Going to take my my chocolate, and I'm just putting the whipped glue on here. But Jamie, you can use crazy glue, whatever you have. I cut my Oreo cookies in half, and if you don't have an Oreo cookie mold, just use a circle cutter. It doesn't have to be Oreo, In fact, we're not even supposed to use that word, Not supposed to use that word. So that's it, and I pressed it on, and it stays really good. It dries quickly, and I'm going to do the same thing to attach his eyes. I'm just going to make 2 little small balls. And every time I touch this whip glue, guys, I get chocolate all over my hands. You're welcome, Jamie. And that's it. I made 2 small balls. I'm going to press them down. Well, first I'll put my chocolate. I'm using, again, the whip glue, but again, you could use the crazy glue. And I'm just putting it on like where I want his eyes. I'm going to press the ball down. Whoop. Try not to drop it. And then just attach it. I gotta make a different ball because that one's got, again, it's got chocolate all over it. Aw, thanks, Stephanie. I'm glad you got to see me too. I know I hardly come live anymore. I hardly come live. You know, I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy for me to share all the things anymore that I have been creating because I am in the Faux Sweets Academy with May. So that's kind of part of when I stopped doing my lives, because I just felt like, well, I can't share a lot of things, you know, but there's still stuff like this and like my little witches brooms and things like that that I'm figuring like, you know what, I can go live. I can go live and show you guys. So I'm going to try and get better at, you know, coming live. Jamie also, and I almost forgot to do it, once I attached his eyeballs, because I'm using the Bose clay, I want to just kind of press it down lightly, just to sort of flatten them so that it doesn't puff out, because you know how the, yes, I did make the candy. And then I took this little paint marker and put his eyeballs on. And that's it. So simple and easy to do. The candy, I got the mold from Hobby Lobby. But again, I mean, and these are cheap enough if you go to Hobby Lobby. You know, I used Model Light. I would recommend Model Light or Model Magic, but Model Magic takes forever to dry and cure. So I always try to use the Model Light when I can because it just dries so much quicker. Just so much quicker. So I used that, and you know, again, you just can't get any easier, Jamie. You just roll a little ball, stuff it in the mold, flatten it out. Of course you want to fill it. I didn't really fill it. And you could probably pop them right out, but I would definitely recommend throwing it in your freezer for a good maybe 20 minutes. And then they'll just all pop right out. And then I painted them. I used burnt umber to get my color. And that's it. It's that simple, guys. So I hope I've inspired you guys to make your own little bats for your fake bakes. And because I know, like, I'm obsessed with them. I'm just obsessed with them. And like I said, I have them on cookies. I have them in my pies. I'm going to create another cupcake using my tombstones and some bats. And, you know, and so stay on the lookout for that. So, guys, thanks so much for joining me. Hi, Chris. We were just finishing up. Thanks for hopping on. We just made these cute little bat cookies. Very simple to do, you know. Really super simple, using a little chocolate candy from the silicone mold that we get at the Hobby Lobby, and some clay and paint, and done. So cute. And thanks, Lisa. Aren't they adorable? I love them. I just love them. And I love that I figured out what to do with those witches brooms too. So that's it, guys. I got my bats. And that's it. Anybody have any questions? You're You're welcome, Jamie. Jamie, make sure you send me a picture of your bats when you make them. Has anybody, let me ask you this, has anybody made the witch's brooms that I showed you guys how to do? Has anybody made any witch brooms? Or is it still too early for you all? For Halloween. I made myself coffee before coming live because you know I have to have my coffee. And then I just sat here and I didn't even drink it. The name of the group again that I joined. I'm in Faux Sweets Academy. That's with May Hirota. It's not really a group. It's her master class is what I think she calls it. She calls it the Faux Sweets Academy. And I love it. I joined about a year ago. And I've really learned so much from her. And I've been working on, you know, hi, Annie Ellie. I've been working on, you know, mastering my techniques and all the things. So, you know, you can go on Faux Sweets, Faux Sweets, and you can always message May on her page if you have any, you know, any questions about her academy. So, how are you, Annie Ellie? We were just finishing up. We just made our cute little bat cookies. You know, they're just so stinking cute. And my friend Jamie here asked me if I would show how I made them, so I just got done making those. So glad to catch me live. I never come live anymore. I was just telling everybody how I kind of stopped going live when I joined the academy because I was kind of like, you know, you can't share, you know, what you learn in there. So, you know, it's a paid course, and, you know, it's just like anytime we pay for something through another creator, we're not supposed to share those techniques. So I'm trying to figure out ways of things that I can still come live and share. Allergy season. My throat is so dry and scratchy right now. But yeah, so I think it was last week I made these little witch's brooms with the you know, those fake strawberries you get in the Hobby Lobby. So I chocolate covered them, and hi Renee, and stuck a stick in there, and you know, we have a broom. So I figured, all right, I'm going to show everybody how to make these brooms. And today I thought I'd come on and show how I made the cookies, and I'll see if I can come up with some other things. I know, Annie Ellie, that you understand. Yeah. So yeah, so you know, you have to be careful with what you show and what you teach, and you know, so that's it, guys. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Hi, Renee. Thanks for hopping on, honey. I appreciate all of you guys showing up for me today. I came on unannounced, and that's kind of how I roll, you know, very impromptu. So you'll definitely watch my replay. Thanks, Annie Ellie. All right, guys, share me out, sprinkle me out. If you're not following me, give me a follow, and I'll see you guys soon. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day.